There we go. Now we're
I I just didn't have my thing on live. I was talking to myself for a bit. I admit that. But hey Babylon and hey Vlogging. I realized that because I was like, why isn't Jamie talking? And then I realized I didn't press the thing to have you talk. So figured it out. Mm. Yeah, this whole thing has been a bit of a lot though with this whole like this is gonna be a not unhinged or nothing, but this isn't a planned stream. I just really wanted to talk about it because this whole thing has been seriously bothering me as like an artist, a performer, and a person who just like cares about other people. Like this dude has a history of like bullshit. You know.
Hey Nessa.
Hey Nessa. Mm, do y'all want to listen to some music while we wait on people?
It's up to you.
That's fair. I'm gonna look at my playlist for a sec.
Hey again, Tanisha. Hey Fake. How are you?
Hey Tanisha. Hey Fake. Appreciate y'all coming in. I'm looking for some music that I want to listen to first. Because I'm looking for stuff that I haven't played like lately yet. So I
Are
have
you gonna play
to.
your own music or someone else's music?
Yeah, I play my own music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's easier to avoid the whole copyright thing. But
Yeah.
I also have like I honestly have like a lot of sound. I've the other day, like a couple months ago, I actually published 200 songs. I'm really happy about that.
Nice.
Yeah, most of my stuff's instrumentals though, so it's a lot easier to do that if they're not all like singing.
Yeah, I agree.
But
Although I
I'm
couldn't
not.
do it anyways.
That's fair. I just really fucking love music. Like I'll like break stuff down and play. Like I've basically exhausted the looper system in BandLab, so now I have to really start with MIDIs, which is like an independent what you put in for music. I have some lo-fi, and
Nice.
it's called Is This Lo-Fi? And then there's like an official lo-fi competition playlist. I can put that on random. Oh no!
What?
Look, my arse is on fire and I turned over and stabbed it on my clipboard. This is why I should not fall asleep. That sounds so dang. I don't even know what to say. Your poor arse with an R. I mean, I get it. It's a thing. Let me see. Tanisha, I truly wish I could tell you how I knew, but I don't think I can.
Were you drawing on your clipboard, Tanisha?
We could
You don't like
probably
the
get
classic nature?
what am I doing? Not that. Not shuffle. I really like this one. I like all of them a lot.
Sorry, I got a text message. I was responding to it.
Oh, good.
Hey, housewife.
Oh, and that's trance in front of a fire version. There's a version where there's not a fire with it. I have them as videos
Yeah.
on YouTube if anyone want to check them. This is actually my second album, Cynthia.
Vlogging says they love your music.
Thanks, I appreciate that. I really think about it. And honestly, I have synesthesia, so it's like I can see and feel colors. So I literally just like manipulating sound and bending it around just to like see what happens. So,
Yeah.
very spicy. I can play the rain version as well. The other one's called "It Means a Lot Coming from You," and they're really nice foils with each other.
All right, Tanisha, have a good sleep.
Hope you have a good sleep. Be safe, and get rest and stuff.
What time do you think we're going to start talking about this stuff?
Like in 3 minutes.
All right.
Probably. Like it seems like 4 people come in. I could wait like another 10 just to see to make sure. It just can be a minute, but it is also like late already. So if people, if they come, they come. If they don't, they don't.
Yeah.
Like you could wait for the other song to look out, just so they can have the foil. And then we'll start after that, which is like.
All right, sounds cool.
Much appreciated, Big Hots. I'm glad you really like it. Honestly, I do also make a whole thing where I can help people make music and music videos or like, sound for like We could do a
Amy!
Valentine's Day or something.
Amy made
Hi,
it.
Felix.
Yay.
Thanks for making it. I appreciate.
Amy made a video about Travis Scott.
Oh yeah. How was it?
Yeah, it was good.
So
Oh yeah, Amy makes music too.
cool. Well,
Yeah, she
Amy, if
showed
you'd
me
ever
it.
want to,
What?
the bandland.
I'm not sure if she uses BandLabs or not, but she makes music as well.
Okay. It's just that I saw her say she knows the program, so that's why I was like wondering if that was it. What? I get you. But yeah, if you ever want to collab or whatever, I'm always up to suggestions, especially if they sound cool.
Is anyone like defending Travis Scott? Is there like that community or no?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry,
it's
people
really
defending it.
bad. Like that's why I was like also talking about idolization culture, just because the stands are trying really hard to defend what's obviously negligent at best.
Yeah, exactly.
God, it just really bugs me because it's like this guy has all this opportunity and he's higher up in like the music realm where people know him and they can do all that. He still chooses all that chaos.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So what's
now,
this whole like there's one thing that I keep hearing about, but I don't understand the context, and you probably know it. Why do people keep saying that people were injected by something?
well, the thing is, you know, to explain this, I'm going to pause the music. I can probably play it after I explain this, just because it's really specific and I want to make sure people can hear me. But the thing is, with the UK specifically, they've been having a major problem with injecting, with like people going to clubs and stuff and injecting specifically women or non-men or like people that are just like vulnerable, kind of. Like
Yeah,
anyone that like some asshole would deem vulnerable enough to do it to, they would do this to. In the lines waiting at nightclubs or like in the nightclub or like spiked drinks, and it's gotten to like an all-time high lately. Like I swear it was like 200 or 400% or something compared to how it's been in previous times, especially after people like finally got out and stuff.
yeah,
um but the thing is, it's like there hasn't really been any video of this person doing this to anybody despite all the videos of everything else. And police officers have been it just seems like with a story that I found that I'll definitely stream for y'all to see so you can understand everything that's been going on with explaining how negligent they really are behind the scenes. Um like it's just kind of like it seems like that might be a throwaway thing from like a popular this is bad to point at like this instead of like how bad the whole thing actually was.
yeah,
You know, yeah, like it's really odd, like for them to throw it away like that. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a couple people did, or if there's even multiple people that did it, just because of how they had the whole thing. Like Travis himself even posted a thing about people should try and like go in for free or sneak in the wild ones or something. And so
Yeah.
that means at least like whoever saw that, this is varied, of course, from like maybe a person brought in one person or like two people or three people or whatever. But I'd say give it like 50% of people brought at least one person, right?
Yeah.
That means they sold 50,000 tickets. That means at least 75,000 people came there, which makes more sense considering how packed it was and how it was just there was no space at all. Because it looked like it could have been enough for 50,000 people, but there was definitely more than that, you know. And
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Sorry, I'm just making noodles quickly, but I'm still here.
you're all good. Let me see. I'm going to stop sharing that stream just because I think we're ready to talk about it. I gave it like 15 minutes. It'll be okay.
Okay, it's in the microwave for a minute and a half. I'm having Mr. Noodles.
Noodles are great. I totally get it.
I love Mr. Noodle.
Mr. Noodle.
Yeah, you're quiet for some reason. I think I might need to refresh the page.
Is this
One second,
better?
I'm gonna refresh.
Okay. There we go. Okay. I have the video up that I want to show y'all. It's about somebody who was basically security, but they were assumed to be security and they weren't trained and they didn't have the right equipment. And it's like a 13-minute video that really shows that there was a lot that went on that was negligent, like intentionally. Oh, I might have to add Jamie back on.
I'm back.
Hi.
Okay, I can hear you perfectly now.
Awesome. So I'm going to share this video. It's just some TikToks, but it's solid. It's like Travis Scott, Astroworld 2021, Survivor Speaks Out, Must Watch by like this YouTube that is the Anderson family. They've been putting out a lot on all of the survivors and what they see, like what people have said, like all of the evidence that they can start looking at.
All
and
right.
it is a lot. Hmm.
Are you gonna play it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm finna get right into it, and I'm finna start from the beginning because this entire process has been very sketch from the beginning. So
Let me delete some
we
messages.
basically got this offer from one of my homegirls. Her daddy
No, I deleted it. Let me go back to it. Whoops. Let's see. I have it in my history. I was just deleting extra tabs because that was what was slowing it down. It looked like it's usually what happens. At least it was the beginning and not the middle like that. Thank you for sticking with me through technical difficulties, friends. And he doesn't plan all that, but honestly, he should have been planned. It's like this, like the tickets were like 250 to 400 to $600. There should have definitely been like a lot more. And how he was throughout it did not help because there was like EMTs and stuff, and he's like saying he wants to see the ground shake. You know, that's obviously going to incite a riot. And then he also has like a history of inciting riots, violence, injuries. There's even someone who's paralyzed from the neck down from like something in 2017 where it was like there was one kid who was like hanging off a balcony, and he was like, you know, kid, just jump down, they'll catch you, and they got caught. But this other dude got pushed off after that, and he got paralyzed from the neck down.
Oh
So
my
it's just
god.
a lot of stuff like that. Yeah, like I can't emphasize the amount of ridiculousness, and it's like I have a playlist on this, like where it's like anything I found, I put it in a Kardashian and celebrity analysis archives on my thing. I'm gonna like link it in the comments after all of this.
Yeah. Okay. That should be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Tyson just texted me.
Hi, Tyson. Okay, so there's this.
I can't hear her. I don't think you shared your audio.
I'm gonna fight this thing. That's probably what it was. Okay. Remove it. I wish that like they had the share audio, like you know, where it was easier to click. It's always like you got to go all the way down to the thing. It's rude.
Do you play any games?
Yeah, a lot of
Like
games. I usually,
consoles or computer?
well, I honestly like PC the most, just because it's like you could do more with it, and it's not as you know, you can't. It's not that you can't hack consoles because you could, but it's a little more difficult too. And it's kind of like a whole thing. And then there's also restrictions on consoles, and then like one could have another, and another could have another, but they could all be on PC. That's also the thing. But I
What
also like
games do you
share.
play?
Well, BioWare is really fun.
Oh, I've
Like,
heard of that one.
yeah, like they have really nice ways of like having choices and like deals and all that stuff. Like Dragon Age and Mass Effect are games that I highly recommend. At least the first and second. The third in Mass Effect is interesting and different, but there is a lot that you could do. I just haven't finished it myself, so I can't personally be like I recommend it. Um,
Yeah,
the Dragon Age Inquisition, which is the third one, is like I played it a good amount and then I watched someone finish it. And story's kind of like very cool graphics, but the character that I had that could, because like you can literally like move your saves over to the next game. Like what you got from the first one, who was a Grey Warden, you moved to the second for like the history of what was for that world. And you don't see them, but the second person is supposed to be in the Inquisition. And they just use the default character, not the person that you saved. And it
yeah.
pisses me off. It pisses a lot of people off. But I'll start sharing this and I make sure to share the audio.
Okay, so I'm finna get right into it, and I'm finna start from the beginning because this entire process has been very sketch from the beginning. So we basically got this offer for one of my homegirls. Her daddy was looking for some security guards. So he asked us for like our information, which was basic information like weight, height, and like stuff like that. So we gave him the information. He said, okay. He gave us like the stuff that we were supposed to do and all this other stuff. So let me just say it was very sketch from the very beginning because I was the only one who got emails. Like the other three guys that I was with, which was my husband, my nephew, and his homeboy, they never got emails about none of the stuff, only me. So I was already thinking to myself, like, this is very just all over the place. And so yeah, so just a little bit about the job. We were supposed to get paid, fed, and stuff like that, and get in free. I mean, who wouldn't take the offer? So we drove from Dallas to Houston, and by the time we was all supposed to be there at 7.
Thought,
So by the time we got there, it was 7, and we walked into like complete freaking chaos. Like there was like literally probably like 900 security guards there, but well, like regular people. They were regular people, but there's gonna be security guards, and they were like all over the place, right? They were like it was like everybody just all over the place. Nobody knew who was in charge. It was just a mess. So then finally, this dude stood up and he was like, okay, if you trying to be a security guard, come with me. Whoop the whoop. So we all went over. We all was getting in line to sign up. They took me, my husband, and my nephew and his homeboy out the line, and some other people out the line. And we looking at each other like, okay, what's going on? And we figured it out that they were probably gonna get rid of us because we were too small. The dude said, no, we're not gonna get rid of y'all. Y'all just gonna work less hours. And we was like, okay, cool. So that's when we stayed outside the line for a long time, and there was rumors going around that people weren't gonna get paid and that we were getting scammed, and that like it was just a bunch of mess and drama. So people started leaving, like security started leaving, and then they started basically picking who they wanted to go inside, who they wanted to do what, blah 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 blah. So yeah, as you can see, it was all over the place. So we thought that we were gonna get sent home. We go to the car. Next thing I know, my husband gets us in, and then me and him get picked to go inside the concert. This is when shit just started getting weird. Okay, it just started getting weirder. Go to part two. Okay, so it's complete chaos everywhere, right? So finally, we figure out that we're gonna get ready to go inside, y'all. Let me just put this out there. People had bags and backpacks and everything like that. They never once searched no bags. They searched no bags. Nobody was COVID tested. There was even this girl I met inside the concert who actually said she showed them a fake vaccination paper, and she was able to get in. And she was so lit about being able to get away with that. So yeah, just a little disclaimer: they did not care about COVID, and they didn't care about what was in security's bags and stuff like that. And let me also remind y'all that we were regular people off the streets, like regular people off the streets. They did no background checks. They did nothing. Okay, nothing. So we get inside and we're basically trying to figure out like what area we're gonna work. Now, mind you guys, I only thought that I was going to be doing something simple like scanning bracelets and checking bags, something normal. Very much not. That was not the case. I was about to be doing some real life work that I'd never done in my life. So that was another problem that I just thought was so dumb. So we were walking around, basically trying to figure out where we were going to work. And it was just a mess. I'm listening to all the other people that's coming in as security guards. They're about to work. They are not even normal people. Like they sound like they're not all the way they're up there, and that they have just like they were like a little off, a little slow. And then he was saying like, okay, everybody needs to call their family, let them know like like you are right and what we about to be doing, because in a few minutes your service is not gonna work. I don't know if that's like a normal thing at concerts, because yeah, that was not normal to me. That was very sketchy and very weird. And I was like, okay. So I started letting my family know like I'm not gonna have service. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Mind you, my nephew and them is still outside the gates. They didn't even get in. So I was calling them, letting them know like, hey, y'all need to hurry up and let me know when y'all get in, because if y'all don't get in, we're gonna leave. So we're just walking around all over the place, don't know where we're gonna be. The head security man that was over us did not know where we were gonna go. He was just like lost as us, literally just as lost of us as us. And they were like, okay, we're gonna guard this area, we're gonna guard that. It was just a mess. You had security guards taking off their vests and just blending in with the regular crowd. You had security guards getting high. You had it was just a hot mess, okay? So yeah, everybody's just walking around lost. Then that's when we get to this area and it's like where we're gonna actually be working, right? And there's police officers there. Houston PD, the real deal. Not fake security, but the real deal, okay? Okay, so then we see the officers and they up there just chilling, having a good time, doing nothing. And I was thinking, okay, maybe that's because the concert didn't start yet, whatever. So we were just walking around. Everything was just like, it was just like in slow mo, just weird. The vibe was off because everybody was so confused and nobody knew what they were doing, including the people that was over us. So finally, the officers leave, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna go work. I was wrong. So yeah, let's skip to when the concert is starting. There's people there. Tell me why we're looking around, because as a security, you're just standing there, you're just looking, and we're looking, and I'm looking at all these officers, and I'm like telling my husband, like, hey, they're not doing nothing, like they're not even doing nothing, like they're just recording on their phones, enjoying the concert, and basically leaving the work to us. People who are not even certified for this, okay? They are leaving the job on us, and that was just a no for me. I was like, that's weird. I don't like that they're doing that. So I'm just looking around. I'm seeing all these fans and stuff like that. Like all the people who bought tickets and stuff come in. They're strange. They're not normal. And I'm just like, this is like, it just felt like off the whole day. And then the dude that was over us, the security, like the main guy that was over us, this man is like harassing women and like flirting so hard with them that he's like scaring them and they're like leaving. And he was like taking pictures with like some women and stuff like that. Remind you, not doing his job. And he's just like chilling, just parlaying all over the place. And so finally, we looking, I see like at the corner of my eye, like something coming over the gate. Tell me why it's a million little fans jumping over the gate. And I'm like telling my husband, like, okay, like go, because they were already saying like if you don't do nothing, then you're gonna get fired, you won't get your money and stuff. So I was like, okay, go over there, like help. Tell me why this security man, the big one that's over us, fell, and then he gets over there and he does nothing, just staring at them coming over the gate. Like he did nothing. He just watched them come over the gate. And I'm just like, this is giving me very much bad vibes. Like I was like, this is getting wild and it hasn't even, it's still early. Like it's not even dark. And I was telling my husband, I was like, hey, like I don't want you running up to like a bunch of fans and stuff when stuff is going crazy, because they gave us nothing to protect ourselves. They gave us nothing to protect ourselves. They don't care about us. And I was like, it's just not worth our life. Like we got kids to go home to at the end of the day. I hate it, but like we're not certified for this. We didn't even know the grounds. We didn't know nothing. And it was just like, no. I was like, no, don't do that. So we basically made up in our mind that like from now on, it was basically like we're gonna watch. And before y'all start, we were not gonna watch people die, okay? We were not gonna watch them die. It was just like when they were jumping the gates, there's nothing we can do to stop them. That's the part we were gonna. This comment right here is so true. True. Okay, so anyways, so then we asked the boss, like after they broke in or whatever, and then it like kind of like this area was kind of like a little bit dry at this point, because now the police officers are actually on the outside of the gate, but they didn't stay there long. Okay, they didn't stay there long. So we asked the boss. We was like, hey, can we go up to the other area where there's more people and there's more crowd, and we can probably try to all spread out over there and keep them from basically smushing each other, right? No, y'all don't want to be up there because the music is too loud. You can't think, you can't hear. But he only said that because he didn't want to go up there. He just wanted to stay in the back and flirt and do nothing, basically. He didn't want to even work. That's what I took it as. So I'm like, that's so dumb. Like I was like, there's nobody back here. There's nothing for us to do back here. Okay, there's nothing. So I felt like we should have been at the front. Nope, he didn't want to do it. And I was like, okay, whatever. So then as the day goes on, y'all, this is the part that's about to get you. So not only did we not have service, and I thought that was very strange, because the service had worked the entire time we was in there, but it did not work anymore. It completely did not work. Like you could not get hold to nobody from your phone. I thought that was weird. I also thought it was weird that my nephew and them was still stuck on the outside. They never ever got in. They never got in. We don't even know what was going on with that. They didn't even know what was going on with that. So then this is the part that gets me. We're sitting here. We're literally sitting here, and I'm watching someone open their necklace, sniff something up their nose. You do with that what you will, okay? Sniff something up their nose. I look at the police officer, Houston PD, who looks at me, looking at him, and we're looking at them, and he does nothing. Nothing. He just looks at them sniffing and be weird. And the whole group is doing it. It's not just one person, it's the entire group. And I know he saw them because he literally looked at me and shook his head. And I'm thinking, what are you going to do? So with that being said, when y'all want to come for security, just remember, if Houston Police Department is not doing anything, what the hell can we do? We cannot do anything. Okay. So then it went on. So as we're still looking around and the concert is going on, Houston PD see people smoking illegal drugs and doing all this stuff, and they're doing nothing. So I told my husband, I was like, this is crazy, because this is the only city I know where something could be illegal, and the police department looks right past it as if it's nothing. And you know what they're doing? They're just walking around enjoying the concert, not worried about anybody's safety, anybody's lives. And remind you, I usually don't care about people smoking, but there were kids there. Come on, kids. Okay, so as the day go on, you could definitely tell the kicking in, the drugs is kicking in. People were literally wowing. So let's skip to when Lil Baby went up. Okay, so Lil Baby went up, and I'm now the only security at my station. I'm the only security because everybody else left and went to go enjoy the concert. Okay, so I'm the only security there. And this man literally starts raging. He's like raging, like powering up, being very weird, yelling and screaming, and just acting very delusional, and it was so creepy. And the bartender is like freaking out. She's coming to me. She's like, "Oh my god, like where's the dude that's over? You guys, like, we need some help. We need to get him out of here." I'm like, I don't even know. I'm looking all over for our boss. I'm looking all over for the boss, and I don't even know where he's at. So this man is literally going like crazy, and then some people that was there at the concert just literally had to get him, hold him down, and then take him away. It was like the scariest shit ever, and I was like, yeah, this is not normal. And so keep going, still looking around for this man. He's literally at the front of the concert, at the front of the concert, enjoying. But baby, ain't you supposed to be involved? Ain't you supposed to be over us? Like, this is a hot ass mess. And then you got people still in the back sniffing their drugs. You got people on the side, like where there's like this little gate part where people are not supposed to be. You have people back there laid out on the ground. You got people that are kissing as if these people are on the ground. It's just a mess. Never once did I see security go back there and check any of that. Never once did I see police department go back there and check any of that. I never seen anybody do anything. These people were literally tripping out. Like, it was so scary. So afterwards, when the little baby his part ended, the security man came back, and I was like, like, people were like, wow, like, what are you going to do? He was like, that's what they do with concerts. That has nothing to do with it. I mean, we just have to make sure that they don't jump over the gates.
Sorry, it was a bit buffery. But yeah, you see what I mean? Like, that was just complete negligence. Like, absolute, honest to God negligence. And the music frequency they had throughout, like, waiting for people to, like, um, to wait on it all. It was literally made for uncomfortable feeling. Like, it sounded like a tornado with a high pitch, like, thorns or something. I'm not saying that that was the intentional, it was supposed to be a tornado and thorns. But it was literally a worrying, grating, agitating sound for a long time. And that affects a person's, like, frequency. Like, we're literally, like, we have a heartbeat. Imagine what that does to someone for hours on end, hot, with a bunch of people that are, like, doing a bunch of drugs, and no one's really regulated. The police are acting like, whatever, but then the same police that were there saying it was probably drugs, or there's somebody sticking folks and shit. Like, it's just odd. Like, you know what I mean? And that chuckle thing, it's not me laughing, it's honestly like a breath of, like, what the fuck is this? You know? And Travis has a history of having two big crowds in two small spaces in a time where there's a pandemic going on and they didn't check shit, as you heard from someone who literally worked behind the scenes. It's just fucked. Like, they literally made it so it was an all ages thing, and a lot of kids follow him because of Fortnite or because of his stuff. So I can't imagine the amount of kids and teens that went there and probably didn't have the most access, support group, because you probably need like 5 or 10 people. Like, you need a whole fucking support team to go through all of that. You know, and I can't imagine how that could be for anyone who's disabled who could have went there. What if people aren't even found yet because they couldn't walk off or something, right? This entire thing with stand mentality too, uh, there's this stands who are just ignoring it and being like, he can't be at fault, when it's like, it's his venue and he was the only person who could have stopped it, and he made sure to finish his set. And then Drake even came on 30 to 40 minutes after it was considered a critical thing with mass injury. So I really get why people are suing Drake too. And thanks, Babble. Yeah, like, if it would show it. Yeah. Thank you. Remember to like, sub, and share if you'd like. I also make cool music and can make stuff and also have classes and stuff. But I just feel like I already didn't like going to like large crowds. I haven't wanted to go to a concert in a while, especially with all of this. But this really made me not want to go public if people are gonna go fucking like this, like some fucking dystopian ass shit just because they can. I'm so sick of that behavior. It's dangerous, and people are dead, and people are going to continue to die if we keep doing the same bullshit. It's not fucking cool. And I mean, when I see the things, there is a lot of symbolism in it. I'm not gonna be like, oh, it's some definite thing when I don't know everything that went on or whatever. But Travis is honestly, he's so high all the time, he barely looks there at all, if ever. And then he's singing "Yeah" like in a slow tone as like a kid who probably is like, I'm not sure if he died or not. He was carried off on stage, and I get that every now and then people faint and all this stuff at concerts, but he literally incited a riot and told people to go and run the area. Like, his stage crew always has a fucking prayer on their shit because there's obviously no structure, and that's done on purpose. And it's weird because it's like, even at the beginning, it's literally a fucking portal to look like, I mean, I get that it's looking like to go into hell or whatever. That's weird. The symmetry is weird. I personally don't like fucking with shit because I don't like getting fucked with like supernatural whatever shit. I just don't want to deal with it. I'd rather be safer than sorry. But this tunnel does not help matters with a situation where this dude has 50,000 people that are supposedly sold to, and then there's like extra people who went in without tickets to make it potentially 75k, right? All in this fucking space, crowded and wanting to see him, all this shit. And it's just, it was meant to be as harmful as possible, or it at least was made as harmful as possibly could be, and they cut corners. That is so much obvious, and with all the money that they have, it should have never been a thing. People paid hundreds of dollars for these tickets, and the thing is, honestly, it kind of says a lot because there was like no regulation, all this fucking people. I wouldn't have gone to the anyway, knowing that with how we are living with a pandemic and all these super spreader events is making it difficult for anything to ever have a semblance of balance. Because what the fuck is normal, right? They were fucking outside, yeah. And it was really bad. Like, I even heard of a story where a girl, she got pushed all the way up the front, and then the gates, like, scratched up her belly and stuff, and it doesn't have to be like that. It never has to be like that. But when you have someone that literally entices people to rage, to give in to rage, chaos is going to ensue when people do that. People were not able to breathe because there wasn't enough air circulating in that area. It was too fucking small for all those fucking people. And it was just poorly designed, poorly thought out, and it could have easily been preventable and never brought into that situation. And our Travis even invited extra people, and how people keep enabling this behavior and acting like he did nothing wrong, or how at least Drake did nothing wrong when he was the one who came in at the end of it, enticing, making it even more agitating for the entire audience, made it surge and made it even worse. Honestly, it's just so fucked. The loss of life for what? Some assholes that don't even care about the lives that were gone. Not enough to at least make something safe for the people that gave them so much fucking money, right? And honestly, Drake is a fucking creep who everyone in Canada knows is a creep, who's preyed on minors constantly and has even said on fucking video they didn't care about a 17-year-old being a minor. And Travis working with that and then working together and being like this, I just be aware and all of this and stop idolizing anything. Idolization is a serious societal detriment to humanity, just because you're putting people on a pedestal and you're trying to treat others as better than, like, anybody can be better than anybody or higher than anybody. And every time you add a hierarchy somewhere, a bunch of them ensue, and it just becomes a circle of pain and oppression and bullshit, right? And I'm just sick of this fucking world excusing this behavior for these celebrities, the people who are rich enough to be able to buy the shit out, when you shouldn't be able to buy out your fucking holding yourself accountable. You shouldn't. I've never heard of Sean Blazington, but I was suggested to check him out. But I'll check him out. I'll think about it, and I'll let you know about it too. It's like, I just truly do not. Oh, maybe I needed to invite Jamie back. I forgot. Whoops. I'm not sure. This is a bit of a ramble, and let me see. I had like a whole statement typed up because I was just so frustrated with this whole thing, and I'm so frustrated with people that continue to enable these behaviors, because every time it gets enabled, more bullshit happens and more people are allowed to do this. And listen, being like this while, like, the UK knows they're having problems with people needling people and just using that as some offset compared to everything fucking else that was wrong with all of this, is fucking shit. A lot of people had their hand in making this so shitty. Like, okay. Oh, I basically said all the stuff I wanted to. Oh, not everything. But it's pretty messed up how, with Travis being promoted, it has a bunch of stuff on Fortnite, which is a game that a lot of kids and teens play, for anybody who doesn't know what Fortnite is. and they had Kylie and Stormy go in there, and like all was fine, you know. So, oh, Asia's area, you know, this mom and this kid are hanging out, but they have security and are rich and are protected, and we're in the VIP section, you know. And whoever could have just been in there, however, it's just it seems intentional. He has a pattern of this like across years, like through a lot of his concerts he's incited rage or given the rage or go, you know, the whole sicko mode is a whole thing about getting into rage. This is just like the biggest incident. And also, just to say more about this dude's character, he has an ex-manager, right? This dude went and had a fucking seizure on the floor, like just, and then Chavez just looked at him and walked away, and then called him up the next day and said he doesn't want weak managers that have seizures. That's the kind of guy this is. He has some questionable ideals. And, elaborate what exactly? Could you, it kind of went on a bit of a tangent. It's hard to put it into words, because again, I didn't plan this. But, oh yeah, the only song you know, Sicko Mate. Well, a lot of his songs tend to perpetuate like a go crazy vibe. Like, go and fuck up shit kind of thing. And his entire thing with the sets and how he has it, it's just like a complete disregard of life, of sentience, of people. It's fucked up. Yeah. I really want the world to be a better place. And I wish for people to be nicer and kinder. And I don't think it's wrong for us to want things to be better than they are. And I really hope that we collectively, as artists, as creators, as people who are part of a society, right? We can do everything we can to adapt and be as best as we can for our citizens and for whoever, to not let bullshit like this happen again. It shouldn't have ever happened again in the first place. We have laws that go against all of this because a lot of terrible events have happened to lead up to these laws. You know? Yeah, I get you. Like, I've never been a Travis Scott fan. I barely heard of him before all of this. I didn't really look into him, because, I don't know, I just didn't like the vibe. Didn't care for it. No, I really don't like the vibe, and I really don't care for it. You're all good. Thank you. I totally hear you. And I mean, you notice when you notice, but at least you're paying attention now, you know? I hope you'll have good nights and chill rest. I hope things get better. Because the shit can't continue like this. It can't keep being fuck shit. Like, sentience, life matters. We all matter. My respects to the people who are hurt and who have lost loved ones and who are lost now. It should have never gotten to this, and it should never be able to get to this ever again. I'm off. Cheers.